If you're thinking about moving to Denver in 2026, there's something most buyers discover very quickly once they start looking at homes. And it often changes exactly where they decide to live. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what people relocating to Denver are learning about the housing market right now and what you should know before deciding where to land. Because what most people imagine when they first start the relocation search and what they actually discover once they look at real numbers there are often two very different things. So let's start with why people are relocating to Denver in the first place. People are moving here for real reasons. Tech jobs, aerospace careers, government work, remote work, having flexibility that suddenly makes Colorado accessible. And then there's the lifestyle. You've got the mountains, the sunshine, hiking, skiing, career opportunities around the Denver Tech Center, government sector jobs, new beginnings, and fresh starts. The appeal adds up quickly, but here's what tends to happen next. Once buyers actually start searching for homes in Denver, that's when the first real surprise usually hits them. Many people relocating to Denver start their search assuming they're going to live somewhere near the heart of the city. They want to be close to downtown, Highland, Lodo. They want to be in the walkable neighborhoods everyone talks about. Then they see the prices. The housing demand in Denver is real. Inventory is tighter than a lot of people expect. And the numbers tell the story. Median home prices across Denver sit significantly higher than what many relocation buyers anticipated before they began their search. Single-family homes, townhomes, condos, each one carries a price point that can make people pause for just a moment. You log into the real estate site, you start filtering by Denver zip codes, and pretty quickly you realize the home you imagine, the size, the yard, the location you thought you'd get might not actually fit the budget that you originally brought to the table. Now that's not a judgment, that's just the market. That's the reality of relocating to Denver in 2026. The neighborhoods everyone talks about, they tend to be competitive. They're desirable, and because of that, they're often can be expensive. So for many relocators, the numbers simply don't line up the way that they had expected. And that's usually when the moment happens, when people pause and start asking just a different question. Before we get to that, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Nicole with the Mama Bear team at Exit Mosaic Realty, and I help people relocating to the Denver area navigate this exact moment. So buyers arrive with a vision of what they think that life here might look like. Then they begin exploring the housing market, and they realize there are a few more variables involved. So what I've learned working with relocation clients every week is this. The decision that comes next often changes everything, because eventually most buyers ask a new question. Instead of asking, where can I live in Denver? They simply start asking, do I actually want to live in Denver, or do I want to live near Denver? That one shift in perspective opens up an entirely different conversation. Because when buyers expand their search just a little bit, especially on the west side of the city, something interesting starts to happen. Suddenly there are more homes available, more inventory, different price points, sometimes larger properties, and often more yard space. And you start seeing newer construction options as well. You also see established neighborhoods with homes that have character and they have that mature landscaping. And many relocation buyers discover that the commute, well, it's still very manageable. The lifestyle that they were hoping for is still there, but the housing options, well, they just begin to make a lot more sense for their budget. That's when many people relocating to Denver start discovering that the right home for them might not actually be inside Denver city limits at all. It might just be on the outside of it. That's where I spend most of my time helping relocation buyers. The West Denver communities, places like Littleton, Lakewood, Golden, and Arvada. So each one has its own personality. Each one has a different housing styles, different price ranges, different proximity to trails, parks, and access to the mountains. But what many buyers relocating to Denver notice about these areas is that they often offer something the city itself doesn't always provide at the same price point. More home for the money, more space, more access to outdoor recreation, and communities that still keep you connected to the greater Denver metro. For people relocating here specifically for that active lifestyle of West Denver, these areas often start rising to the top of the list pretty quickly. And if you're researching relocation and trying to understand the housing differences between these cities, I actually publish a monthly West Denver market report that breaks down current pricing in Littleton, Lakewood, Golden, and Arvada. And I'll link that in the description so you can see how the market is moving while you're making your relocation plans. Because the numbers do shift over time. Inventory changes. Interest rates, well, they change too. But the bigger pattern tends to stay consistent. When buyers expand their search west of Denver, they often discover homes that align much more closely with what they were originally hoping to find. So if you're seriously considering relocating to Denver, there are a few things worth keeping in mind. Start your research early. Don't wait until the job offer is signed or the moving truck is scheduled. Take some time to explore neighborhoods. And do that ahead of time. Don't forget to drive the commute routes if you can and understand what day-to-day life might actually look like in these areas. Second, explore more than just Denver itself. Maybe look at communities west of the city. Look south. Look north. Different areas certainly offer different lifestyles, and the right fit, well, it depends on your priorities. And third, work with someone who understands the market locally. Not a generic relocation service, not an agent in another state that's trying to help remotely. Someone who actually walks relocation buyers through these decisions every single week. Because the right home for your relocation isn't really about Denver versus the suburbs. It's about your budget, your lifestyle, your commute, and the way you want your day-to-day life to feel once you arrive. These are conversations worth having with someone who knows the territory. Most people begin the relocation search online by typing something like moving to Denver. And naturally, everything they see points them towards Denver itself. But what many buyers eventually discover is that the right place for them might actually be just outside of the city. A community that fits their lifestyle better. A home that fits their budget more comfortably. And a location that still gives them everything that they were hoping to find when they first started considering Colorado. And if you're trying to narrow down where you might want to live during your relocation to the Denver area, I have put together a playlist walking through several of the West Denver communities, including Littleton, Lakewood, Golden, and Arvada, so that you can start getting a feel for which one might fit your lifestyle best. And you'll find that linked right below. Until then, remember, life is short, live somewhere awesome, and be well. We'll see you next time.